What nonsense. What nonsense.
This explosive segment centers on a heated debate regarding Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen. The trigger was recent comments from Osimhen suggesting he might consider retiring from the Nigerian national team after the current ongoing Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON. This revelation sparked a furious on-air reaction from popular broadcaster and social commentator Rufai Oseni, who launched a scathing critique of Osimhen's commitment and mentality, accusing Osimhen of a lack of patriotism and dedication to the national team, especially compared to past legends, suggesting that Osimhen is forgetting the support he received from Nigerians early in his career and during his injury setbacks. Team Osimhen, comments defending the player, blaming the NFF, and criticizing Oseni for bullying and adding to the very pressure he complains about. Many would cite Osimhen's consistent effort on the pitch as proof of commitment. Middle ground, viewers criticizing both sides, Osimhen for airing his grievances poorly before a major tournament, and Oseni for an unconstructive, personality-driven attack. Video is less a news report and more a sociocultural lightning rod. It highlights several key issues in Nigerian football. The immense, often unbearable pressure placed on star athletes. The dysfunctional relationship between players and the NFF. A generational clash in attitude towards national duty versus personal well-being. The debate does not resolve Osimhen's future but fuels public speculation ahead of AFCON. It puts additional spotlight on Osimhen's performance and conduct during the tournament, which will now be viewed through the lens of this perceived threat to quit.
Coach said that, well, what happens in the group stays in the group. But I think the other members of the team, they should not be distracted by this. The team is supposed to work together as a team. And what we as Nigerians want is for that trophy to be brought home for the fourth time to the glory of Nigeria, not about the tantrums. And I think some of these players, they probably need help of, psychological advice. I think those teams have, teams usually have psychologists so that they can manage them. In fact, the moment I saw Osimhen without the captain's band, and the previous match he had the captain's band, I said, how is this guy going to take this now that the captain's band has gone to indeed? But all of that is just about learning to be mature and focus on team goals rather than individual praise or glory.
With due respect, they said Osimhen said he wants to go to Turkey. He should be going. What nonsense. What nonsense. What nonsense attitude. What Ademola Lookman has achieved, you two have achieved. You are both African Footballer of the Year. Why are you doing this? Put your hand down. Then the next thing, you drop your accreditation. At first, please, this is how we can bring in discipline. The only way Osimhen should be allowed back into that team is after he apologizes to his teammates. Yeah, things will go south.
When a child misbehaves, you don't throw him away.
And that's the more reason why, Dr. Abati, why he should apologize to his teammates. And what he should apologize for is him throwing his accreditation and saying, I'm done, he wants to go to. He should go to Turkey. They should rent private jet for him to go. Are you God?
Who will pay for that private
Are you God? If he goes and they win the Nations Cup behind him, which I want them to win, that's when he will know that you're not indispensable. What is it? You are there today. People were there before you. Yeah, I know players have teeth. Rashidi Yakin had his own too back in the days and all of that with, ball service. Yes, it's for of the moment. But once you iron that with your teammate, you are your teammate. You are not his God. You're not first among equals. Grown team Fuajari nonsense. What rubbish.
Well, I think what's most concerning for me is that we're seeing sort of a culture of repetitive behavior, because I remember also seeing him lashing out in Uyo. That was at the match against Zimbabwe. And he also had some similar outbursts against his teammates. I remember because I was watching that against Zimbabwe. That's why I remember. That's why I remember. But having said that, there are two issues here. Internally, within the team, what are the disciplinary actions that are taken? We know that passions happen, passions override and so forth, but what are the actual disciplinary actions that stop this from becoming a brand that is associated with a single player who seems to get away with doing it continuously and denigrating his teammates, and gets away with it because he's the star? So there's a concern around that. But the most important thing right now is to stay focused. We don't need all of these side shows and distractions. The team's morale doesn't need to be dampened in any way whatsoever. They are doing well. They're performing well. So I don't understand whose village people are coming to try and scatter this, this good streak that we're currently on. So let's just focus on that. Let the spirit of sportsmanship also dominate. This is why it's also important that when your kids are growing up, let them play different sports, expose them to different things to learn the spirit of sportsmanship. That sometimes you'll lose, sometimes you'll win, sometimes you'll be the star, sometimes you won't be the star.
We call it teamship.
Teamship.
That's the Nigerian.
Osimhen should apologize. Yeah, everybody lose their head. I want to accept, okay, he lost his head, but apologize after. What nonsense. You're African Footballer of the Year. Ademola Lookman is African Footballer of the Year. What is it?
Okay. We'll see. There must be some mature people in that team who will work it out. It's time now for a short break. When we return, Anyeze Osakwe